Oh, okay, everybody. It's All Stars Comics Podcast. We're doing it again. Reviews Day is an intimidating reviews week. There was like almost like
We
30 books,
we read a lot of books this week.
and I don't know if I enjoyed more than like three. I know we're
Wow.
trying to remain positive but for whatever reason, maybe because the pressure of reading all the books, I wanted to read them all, and then I thought the next book would be better, and then I don't know. It could have been like we said
You were
before.
you were just like, good grief.
That's right. Am I frozen? Are you
No,
frozen?
I
Uh-oh. Now I'm frozen. Oh, there we go. All right, there we go.
everything seems to be good.
Um,
I was like, good grief, you're frozen.
Good grief. So I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. It was a weird week. I had one that I just relished in. Let's just jump right into it anyway. Let's do quick plugs. So Idiosyncratic Pulp, All Stars Comics Podcast on Instagram, where I go through some vintage stuff. This week you got your Supreme Supremacy. Are you still in Supreme? What crossover are
Supreme
we in now?
Supreme Apocalypse still. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of issues. I am on the last issue of it, so I got like, 10 more pages to post to that. More exciting I do my Rob Messick on Twitter, X, and that is going through all the Liefeld stuff for the relaunch of Youngblood. And it's funny because I'm currently doing the stuff where he originally came back to the remember he took the sabbatical after Youngblood 4/5,
Mm,
and then he took a year or two off, and then he came back and did Youngblood 6 and Team Youngblood 9, and that's where we're at now, which is funny because now we're in the actual month where actually Youngblood's coming back.
right, right. Yeah, I saw on
So
his Instagram you put up what yesterday. You put up there was like an ash can, like a black and white preview edition or something.
who Liefeld?
Liefeld, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he it was the Ash Can of Youngblood 1. I used to have that, but I sold it for many hundreds of dollars when times
Mm.
get tough. Listen, man, there's a saying I got from Cliff Biggers, and it's like comics will get you through times of no money better than money will get you through times of no comics.
Oh my God.
And I wholeheartedly agree.
Should put that on his shirt, dude. It's merchandise that.
It's true. It's always
Yeah.
I read that book in the 80s, and I'm like, it was in a either True Fan Adventures or Bafo Laughs. Cliff Biggers, for those who don't know, besides having a comic store, besides putting out some 80s comics, he published Comic Shop News. Like that was him. He created that, and we all have or have had stacks of Comic Shop News. I used to hold on to them for years.
Yeah. I use them. I
Which,
cut them up for paste them on a wall. You know what I
oh
mean?
yeah,
Have
oh
like
yeah.
yeah.
I had like a blue test book, and I just like would tape in cool pictures. Here's one picture that always sticks out to me because it's the first one I put in there, and it's Dale Keown drawing of Bruce Banner turning into the Hulk, like 4 images.
Hmm.
And guess what? Never got used, Mark.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not in any Dale Keown Hulk issues.
Oh my God.
I'll show it to you one day. But
Yeah,
it's awesome
we
looking
need to do a whole episode on stuff that is not
stuff.
like all
There's
the
a
exclusive Marvel Age covers.
Yes,
Exclusive.
even Comic Shop
Exclusive.
News. Comic Shop News had exclusive covers. The comic scene had exclusive covers. Wizard had exclusive covers.
Comic scene covers were rough because they were always like pasted up with other shit on them. Like,
Yeah, with the exception of their Youngblood cover, which was like incredible.
oh, really? I
Yeah,
don't
they had a
know.
Youngblood cover that
Oh,
never got used. It's actually the
hmm.
first Youngblood cover, I think, and then it's not never got used anywhere else.
Yeah, I got a pack of I found like a file of old star logs. It's like
Oh,
every
fun.
star log, but I wanted to see I'll have to kind of dig around and figure out like what's what because star log would have some peripheral stuff in. So, all right, well let's get into it. Let's dive in. We're gonna blow. What's funny is I think there's so many things to review. I think this will be the shortest episode ever because
Good.
it's going to go fast, which might be better for everyone. And it's funny, we were trying to kind of cut back and only have 10 books a week. And then this week was like 23, 24 books. And then next week, literally, I did the list. I put it up on the Google Drive today.
Yeah,
It's 10 books exactly. I don't think we can add anything or subtract it. There's like no other books I want to read besides the 10 that are coming out. So
cool.
that is
Yeah,
all.
I don't know what's coming out this week, so I didn't even look yet. I've been too busy. Life.
We're life in it. Here we
All
go.
right. Absolute Martian Manhunter #1
So what's funny is I
by
feel like
Dennis Camp and Javier Rodriguez. My daughters hate when I try to do that.
you don't do it as naturally as most. Let
No.
me pop this up real fast. I want to keep my sidebar up. Let me keep my sidebar. Always show sidebar. Always record. Always record. Okay.
All right.
So, unlike everything else this week, this was the only book I could have hung out in for like a while. I felt like everything I was reading, I just wanted to finish reading it and go to the next book. So this book is, if we had pick a week type of thing, this would be easily be my pick of the week. Um, I liked everything up and down production wise, all of it. I still think that the Absolute Universe is a little disjointed, and it's funny because Dennis Camp, this might be the strongest absolute so far. Like this is, I don't know. I mean, again, it gave a lot of world building that I feel like may or may not be going the other way. So, for example, when we talk about Dennis Camp in the Absolute Universe, I feel like he's doing all the ultimates, and it's a real world, whereas Ultimate Spider-Man's just doing whatever story. They're out in like the
Right.
desert
Right.
this week,
Ultimate
right?
Spider-Man is very small, and Ultimates is very big.
Yeah, but this felt big even though it was a small story. So,
Yeah.
um,
I refuse to read the preview books, the preview
I did
pages,
too.
like
Correct.
especially with this. I saw it and I'm like, no, I don't want to get into that because I will want to stay in that universe, like you said. Because we approve of Dennis Camp. He is Awestruck approved. He's one of the newer writers, and by newer writers, he's probably been around 10 years. I think he was one of the winners of like the Miller World contest to write.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Mhm.
So that was at least 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Probably.
but I think
I don't
I
know.
think he's got the right projects. I think this is kind of I think this did pretty well sales wise. I was in a store up in Doylestown this weekend, and he said Batman did okay, but this did really well. He did really well with this book, so that's really fun.
Fantastic.
Cyborg One and Doylestown, really nice. James is the owner, very nice and very fun store. Um, Future markdown episode coming. All right. So, but I would like if the absolute universe is everyone smoking like this here. I mean, again, in our culture, we kind of don't have the smoking anymore. It's really weird. But he gets told to not smoke inside the hospital. They go out here. It just seems like a lot of people are smoking everywhere
That
now.
is a what is this? A Tom King comic?
Right. But I just don't know if like is that this world? Is this world like if you think about the multiverse of madness
It
when
is
when
a
they go
worse
into that.
Mark. It is the worst world.
It is, but
The absolute world is a worse Earth where people, I guess, didn't get the memo from the Surgeon General.
is there a group editor for this stuff? I feel like there should be a Steve Wacker. Where's Steve Wacker at? Get Steve Wacker in here. I think Steve Wacker is an executive at one of these little companies, I think now. One of
Oh
the
yeah,
bigger
they
little
all
companies. They're
little
all
big.
crazy. Um, but yes, and Javier Rodriguez is from where? He worked on Daredevil a long
I feel like
time
you're
ago.
correct.
And then he did the Defenders series, which and then he did the history of the Marvel Universe with Mark Waid. So, um, yeah,
It's a very very interesting page because he doesn't shy away from actual healthcare workers. Like
mm,
if you go, like they are black and Muslim, and you know what I mean. It's very interesting because I don't know what Dennis Camp is, but this is correct. Here in New
right.
Jersey, when you go to a healthcare facility, it's everyone working together. It is a, you know, J.C. Penney's ad from the 90s of healthcare workers.
Mhm. So I guess the basic premise is that he's like the unbreakable guy, where he gets in this explosion thing, and now he's starting to have these like almost hallucinations.
Right,
We're seeing this because I don't even know when he's seeing these different rainbow things around, if he's seeing it or is everyone seeing it? Is she really painting her nails like this? I don't think
right.
so.
Yeah,
Um, and then
girls, the
this
girls love the
page.
the olive with pimento look.
Yeah, this page back and forth is kind of neat because, like,
Yeah,
so this is how I believe what he's seeing, and that's what I mean. I could just kind of hang out in this world. I'm not exactly sure what we're working on. So it's kids, it's kids making these clay dolls and then hands him that. But is that really what it is, or that's the way he's seeing himself? So
right.
again,
Yeah,
I can't really tell which way it's going to go. It's only seemingly getting worse. Like there's like a vertigo. Well, it's not. It's not very. It's almost like this. Almost feels like a very. Actually, it's funny. I said that this feels very, very much like almost like Shade the Changing Man. I feel like there was something like that with the early Shade the Changing Man where things were was it American Dream? That sound right? Where Bacalo had all these type of hallucinations like that. So it's not too far off from that.
Bachala.
Um or Bach, yeah, exactly. Uh this I zoomed in on because I thought that like it just was was this is actually very Daredevil like too, you know.
Yes.
Uh, but I just and I know it's just like kind of super in sync with everyone. Look how insane this is. Now with this, because we're reading it digitally, a couple things here. Number one, I locked my screen and kind of just did like a turnaround on this. And was just really, really cool looking. This guy's still in the same camp with like Javier Peludo, Marcos Martin.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if they all grew up together. I feel like some of them worked back and forth with each other, or he was the colorist. I feel like he was a colorist for Martin. I'm not sure,
No
but
research, people. No
yeah,
research.
it's in there. It's in there somewhere. It's in my brain somewhere.
It is.
But just got more and more chaotic. This I really liked all these colors up here. I think that's really fun. That just reminds me of like almost like a 60s uh like kind of that 60 ad campaign.
All right, that Catch Me If You Can did a little bit with it, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then just basically, so this I did in the store. So this we talked about on news this week. This is what, was stating that basically with this page in on digital, it basically reads like this, 1 and 2, and like it basically says what to do with it. If you had a actual paper, you put it up to the sun. Paper's moderately thick, but I did it in the store. And I added in, this was on Bleeding Cool this week. So he actually took a picture of it.
nice.
So,
Oh, and you gave him photo credit. Excellent job.
well, it was just a screen.
I know.
So,
Cracked Magazine used to do something like this, where it would have like a funny strip and then a blank strip, and then you'd hold it up to the sun, and of course, whatever the image was on the other side would come through, and you go, ah, that's the joke. I get it.
right,
It'd
right,
be a
right.
waste of a page. Like you could have just told it like you could have just made a page of comic strips. Haha, funny. But I mean, they were trying. They were trying to do something new, and this they're definitely trying to do something new. But yeah, it's a shame digitally they couldn't have come up with something to merge the images together.
I think they could have. I think they could have. I mean,
No,
I
they
think
could have.
right now they could have easily have done that, or maybe they will in the reprint or something like. I mean, that even this, there's all sorts of layering of effects all the time. We'll see some of that in like in Justice League where things are faded out or faded in. Like
Right, right.
we talk about this week. So, but yeah, I mean, again, what's funny about this is this week even today we got a bit of news that something got canceled. Something we're going to review later got canceled, and we're like,
Right.
fine, makes sense. And then
Picture
this
Mike.
got extended. So this got extended to at least 12, I think they said this week.
Good.
Yeah, so it was listed as 6, but now it's showing as 12. So
Well, we know the numbers for number one were 170,000 or was it 140,000?
yeah, somewhere in that range. Yeah, I think it was
So that's pretty
140,
solid.
140,
So
170.
even losing sales, even if it loses half of its sales by issue 12, which is a good possibility, you're still talking about even if it lose three-quarters of its sales, you're still talking
Mhm.
40 to 50,000, which is fantastic for a DC book.
Yeah.
So a solid 12 issues is fine. I get that.
You
Because a
know,
regular Martian Manhunter book probably would struggle to find 15 to 20,000.
they haven't been able to do one. Because I don't even think that the one that Riley Rossman did a couple years ago, which Steve Orlando wrote,
Right?
which was fine. It was fine. It
It was fine.
wasn't.
It
Yeah.
it changed the character of Martian Manhunter. That's what I didn't like about that one.
Right.
Like all of a sudden he's doing
You
like
don't need
shady
that.
stuff on Mars. I'm like, no, he kind of was a stand-up hero on Mars. Like that's,
Mhm.
and I think they made like the fire thing like his fault. Like he was a crooked Martian cop.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah,
Right.
that doesn't sit well with me.
I don't even know if I finished it. I think I got annoyed by that character assassination type thing, which that's a Tom thing to do. Don't do that, Steve Orlando. That's Tom King. Tom King likes to do that.
Yeah, Tom King ruins things like Adam Strange
And Mr. Terrific, where Mr.
and
Terrific's
and
happy that his wife and kid died.
and Ice who murders someone
Right. Makes
or
sense.
tries to murder someone. Totally out of character.
Yeah. Well, I think that's Black Label. I just phased out on that one too because that came out so super super late. So but this this is progressive. I feel like this and New Gods have been the most interesting new ideas with the fresh faces, Rambi and Dennis Camp. So yeah, number one, 10 out of 10 for me. 10 out of 10. Very curious what that's going to be.
Go lay down.
Um, you
Lay
know,
down with that side facing down. Okay. Just take a break and just go lay down.
let's trim this out.
Mark, lay. All right,
I'll trim it out.
it's fine.
All right, here we go. Godzilla versus Fantastic Four.
You've been waiting for this.
I've been waiting for this, but you know what's really funny about this is that the first 10 pages annoyed me, and then I just fell into it and I was fine. I think, and also I don't know if there was an arrangement with Toho on this because every cover was in the digital. So you have this is is Adam Kubert. Also no JRJR cover, which is weird. When I was in the shop, I was looking at this. I was looking for this one, which is actually they're doing a reprint of this. I think Virgin as
This
a second print.
this cover's incredible. This is my
That's the
cover.
best. Yeah, I know, and that I don't know. I think it's $1 extra or whatever, but he was sold out at the time when I was looking at it. But the Bradshaw's great. I love the corner box. I think the corner box is super fun. I love it. That is
Yeah.
wonderful. Also, it's funny. Look at that. You can see it kind of like it's on paper, I guess, right? Because
Yes.
you can
Yeah.
see it's kind of messy. That's fun. I'll take it. Thank you. I saw this Bagley. It's fine, but the foil looked really good in store. So this is a foil cover where
What's
it has a
foil? The whole
variant
thing's
cover.
foil?
This background's heavy. It's all foil, but it just seemed the way
Okay.
this was colored really kind of popped on that.
Yeah, because the coloring kind of takes away from the ink line a little bit. Is this Eisenhower? Um,
I think so.
all right.
Yeah.
He's been coloring most of Bagley stuff lately.
Yeah, and here's a weird James Harren. Like this is, I mean, again, James Harren doing Ultra Mega, but it's just really funny. It's very, very cartoony. It looks
Yeah.
like Chris Eliopoulos, looks like
Yeah,
G-Man,
Mr. Fantastic looks hilarious.
and then like, so, but very fun, James Harren. I want to say that Danny Warren Johnson's doing a variant for something upcoming too.
I hope so.
These are the League Bet ones, which I feel like he's just doing a trace on that model. That's a 64, I believe, a Godzilla 64.
It was
They're
like an
fine.
Aurora.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't care. This is fine. Also, I still can't believe. I mean, listen. I guess it just pays the mortgage. I feel like he makes these or he does his daily sketches, and I imagine he makes pretty good money on these. I just don't care about these Scotty Young covers. They don't really.
But you know what? I mean, it's pretty good. And the way Human Torch floats there is very cool. It's
Yeah, he
very
always
weird.
has a very imaginative thing. Wasn't his book Human Torch? Didn't he do Human
He did
Torch?
do Human Torch
Yeah,
back
which
for the
was
Marvel Tsunami line.
Tsunami. Yikes. Woo.
Human Torch, Venom,
Namor. Namor was
Namor.
in that.
Yeah, Salvador LaRocca was not happy about that because they took him off X-Men to do that, but like he had to listen because I think Bill Jemas wrote it. It's about young adolescent Namor. And then I think he got off at issue 6.
Mm.
Is that weird? Like you just got to do what Marvel tells you to. Like he did not want to leave what he was doing on X-Men. He was really enjoying himself. It's a beautiful book, by the way. Like it's
Yeah,
beautiful underground,
who
undersea
colored
stuff.
that? Was that like liquid or something? The coloring
Yeah, I
was
feel like it
really
was like
good
a.
on it.
I don't know if it was Liquid or they stole one of Aspen's guys. I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah, it looked great. I mean, it looked really, really good. And then I'm trying to think the guy who went on after was that the guy who helped co-create Runaways, like me, is
I
Toshiki something.
I feel like you're
I
correct.
feel like that's right. So I don't know who this is. Do I know who this is? I think I do put the letters page.
Hold on.
There's a Peach Momoko, I believe. Uh, so I don't remember who inked this, but I think it's again his Fantastic Four stuff's a little stiff. The overall pages, but for whatever reason, I super super liked his like Godzilla, like just the regular
Yeah,
Godzilla,
because
and
it
I
doesn't
kept
look like any other Godzilla. It's just John Romita drawn Godzilla, and it's neat looking
yeah, like I love
for
look at
that.
that, like I love this. There's a couple times where he's scowling throughout the book, and it just cracked me up every time I saw it. Yeah, it's rough. It's a rough JRJR. But this once I got to this because this was before all that stuff. It was like
Oh,
7 or 8 pages
Scott
before
Hanna.
that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. It doesn't really look. It looks a little rougher than normal. I'm not sure if uh, Ramita's drawing a little rougher. But once I looked at this, I'm just like, oh well, that's the all the Herb Trimp Godzilla stuff. So I'm like, oh, that's right. They were in issue like 16 or 17. So this kind of is continuity for that because that's the Fantastic car they're using. So once I got into that Fantastic car, I was like, oh, they're kind of doing that. So Ryan North isn't writing like Ryan North, who's somewhat annoying writing Fantastic Four now, making it very like a little too modern, a little too on the nose. There's no subtlety in what he's doing over there. And I haven't liked any of that run really. I've tried it here and there, but I just think it from the start bothered me because the first like 4 issues are just like one shots of
Well,
not
it's
all
after
four.
those. What was good is after those 4 issues, it's 30 more issues of the same. It is.
It's exactly
Um,
the same.
I never look forward to it. Once I'm into it, once I'm like 5 pages into it, I'm usually into it.
Mm,
But I gotta pick it up, read it, get 5 pages in, and then I'm fine. But that's not the way comics should be.
no,
He's a talented writer. It's just I'm never like, oh, I need my FF. It's like, I don't really want to read it. I just kind of have to because I read every Fantastic Four comic ever. That is the thing only comic fans say.
right,
Only comic
right.
fans say, I can't stop reading this book. I've read every issue.
I've read every issue of Thor. I've read every issue.
Thor, Hulk, Spider-Man, every Spider-Man.
Amazing, yes. I don't think there might be some gaps in my Spider-Man for early. I think I would say like early Peter Parker, early Web, but after a certain point, everything was everything.
Nope. It kept going.
Kept going. We did it. We did it live. Yeah, just a lot. Who lettered this? This was Travis Lantham. Yeah, super fun. I mean, like even that, like look how crazy his head is. I love it. I love it. This Godzilla just surprising. It surprised me how much I liked it. Because again, the weird thing with Marvel is that like if you're the cover artist, so like why is Adam Cooper cover A? What's the point of that? So
We
weird.
don't understand that. So do you say King Ghidorah? King Ghidorah?
Ghidorah. Yeah, I do the Japanese. Well, I've only ever heard
Ghidorah?
them scream it Ghidorah. Like it's and
That's
this
not
is
them
exactly what
screaming.
it should
Is
be
it
doing.
them screaming it or is it the American dub?
It's the American dub. Well, it depends. I watch it two different ways. It depends. Some of it, I have a copy where it's like Italian. It's Italian dub, but then I watch it with subtitles. So that's actually kind of funny.
Ah, your people's
It's my
version.
people's, right? So I may get one out of the
Hey, Godzilla, can
25th
you help
where
her with it, the
so
Ghidorah? Is that what they say?
Cosmic. That's exactly that was. It was like I was watching it. It was like I was watching it. This didn't make sense. I mean, you have this drop right here. Who's Matt? Like I was thinking that maybe that's the editor. It's not the editor. I don't know who this is. Just kind of goofy.
Could be like his friend. Could be a Scott Hanna friend.
Yeah, it should just be
Scott
Mark
Hanna's brother.
Paggiarillo.
Yeah.
Mark Paggiarillo is the group editor, like working on all this stuff. So there's
Ario.
another one. There's another one right there. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it, dude. I
It's
love
it's
it.
it's wonky.
Yeah, it's great, man. It's a lot of fun. Um, and again, this is really good use of Fantastic Four powers together. Great to do like a projection. That's cool. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Look at his face. Like, yeah, it's a consistent Godzilla face. Because I'm not really thinking of him doing like monsters, you know? I mean, he did stuff for Thor, but it wasn't really monsters, it was all Mangog, and they're all
Yeah, his
Kirby-esque things.
right. That's what I thought we were going to get out of this, was something a little more Kirby. For me, John Romita Jr.'s Thor run is in a top five of his career, and his Mangog issue. My two favorite Mangog artists, other than Jack Kirby, is like Romita and Jose Ladron drew him, I think, once, and it was
Oh,
like
right.
beautiful.
Yeah. Was that in Cable? Oh, no, no,
Mangog?
no.
No, I think it was in a Thor
There was
annual
a
or an oversized
there
special or
was an
something.
FF annual. That's right. He did an FF annual with Claremont. It might have been in that. So Jose Ladron.
Jose Ladron.
Yeah, and that's why I think that there might be some type of deal with Toho because like this isn't normally in a book like this. Like look at all these covers.
The
Here's go
the
buy the
top
covers.
okay, so the top right cover is Iben Coelho.
Mm. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I mean he had something to say this week.
Oh, what did he say? Did I
Oh,
miss it?
they took one of his Venom covers. It was like and like Marvel used it on something else. Like it's like he had a Venom and two people underneath of him, or full body Venom, and they used like half his Venom and put it above Peter Parker. So the Peter Parker like wasn't his artwork, but the Venom was, or the Eddie
Mm.
Brock wasn't his artwork, but the Venom was, and it was like no credit, no nothing, no they didn't even call him or say, hey, we
Yeah.
used your art again, so here's a check. You
Yeah,
know,
man. They gotta watch it. They gotta watch it. I don't know. He's one of the. Is he on?
he's still working for Marvel.
Yeah, they just. I don't know. They should just do. I don't understand, man. Don't understand.
They have the money. It's very weird. I think the people who work at Marvel are scared of Disney, and I think they're afraid if they don't make as much money as they currently are. Like I think they're afraid to pay people more because they don't want to give the creators any more power, but they don't want a reason for Disney to shut them down and just make it like a reprint factory.
Hmm.
So, I mean, that's just my guess why Marvel, otherwise, they're just a bunch of scumbags. You
Yeah,
know,
I don't understand.
I mean, you saw what Dustin again, like he flipped out the most a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and a lot of people piggybacked off of that.
All we are is Dustin again.
Wow, that's that's good. That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Uh,
It's fine.
yeah, this Bradshaw, but look at that. They even has like this the Marvel Code Authority up there, drawn, hand drawn. So
Yeah,
that's good. At
we
least they
love it.
did something with. At least they moved the logo around a little bit. You know, fitting it there is good. We'll get into that a little bit later with some other stuff. So this is Jerry Duggan, Giuseppe Camuncoli for 16. So we got every 2 weeks, I think. Pretty sure it's every 2 weeks for the next couple months. It's just
It's
team
like
up after team up.
looks like Godzilla. Looks like Shin Godzilla eyes on like a.
But yeah, the Godzilla designs, like again, each one on this cover, the covers here are all different. So listen, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want.
So it is.
You
Can't go
know.
wrong. We all have our Godzillas.
Yeah, you probably didn't read this. I'm not going to go too far into this, but this is Patrick Zurcher. This is actually kind of like the third or fourth Solomon Kane story that he's done. He did a couple short stories um in Savage Sword of Conan. So, but again, same thing. They have him as cover D, I think, cover C or D. This is a J.H. Williams third cover, which is like I guess his newer
Oh wow.
painterly style. Great cover, great design. Zurcher's been, and we've seen his stuff forever. Patch Zurcher. I guess the
Yeah,
early
he used to look like
he did New Warriors. Yeah, he did it when what's his name was in there.
he followed Sean Chen on Heroes
Ben
Return
Riley.
Iron Man, and I remember thinking like he just seemed like a knockoff Sean Chen, like a not
Hmm.
as good. But then you see his other stuff later, you're like, oh, he's actually really good. He was probably forced to draw or asked to draw like Sean Chen to keep that style, you know?
Yeah, and I think he's doing colors too. So I didn't know he did that. I know he does a lot of screens. He
Is
did
he
that
is
in
he
Savage
writing this?
Avengers. Yeah, it's he's writer,
Because I
artist,
just saw his
colorist.
name, so all right, right, yeah.
Sounds good. And Tyler Smith, who is the Richard Starking's Comic Crafts like designer of like he does the all the good like titling of everything like that. So again, Titan super consistent. I only put a handful of pages in this. Thought it could have added maybe a little bit extra action, but some pretty scary, gross
That's
stuff.
that is pretty gross. It's oh neat.
Um, yeah, here's all the good covers. There's a foil of this apparently too. I didn't
Oh
see that,
really?
but yeah, that's good.
And you
But
bought
he's
it?
he's cover C.
That's odd.
And then Andrew McLean.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
funny.
this is probably my favorite.
Oh yeah, Brereton. I
Whew,
love it. I'm a big
cover
Brereton fan.
E. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, so you got $4. What are you doing? I think just my gut. God, man, that's tough. Holy shit.
Yeah, all four covers, all five covers are phenomenal.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
That's
If
where
I
I
had to,
go.
I would buy the J.H. Williams III one. I think the bleed and the coloring and the paint is just wonderful. But then I'll have a hard time with, but listen, damn it. Okay. Anyway, look, can't
Um,
complain here. Can't complain here
is
with
this
having a bunch of covers.
is this book doing so good that you can afford to have five great covers?
I don't know. I don't
I mean,
know.
we know every one of these creators, and all these creators have done great work.
I don't know. I wonder how this does on their website or what type of licenses they have for this. Because again, Heroic Signatures, America's Titan stuff. It does all the America and UK stuff, but I wonder if Heroic has it licensed through like Panini and this is translated and stuff like that. I'm not sure. Maybe if it's all over the place. I mean, again, Heroic took the Conan license back because they felt that Marvel wasn't doing a good job, which I think is
But
pretty kind of cool. They didn't do a
it's
good job.
cool. It's strange. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like they were doing a great job, and then they like, yeah, we're good. We've had it for a year or two now, and
But licensors, but for the most part, they just like it never gets better, and their stuff was consistent. You had 12 issues of Aaron, then he did a 4 or 5 issue King Conan. You had Savage Sword, which for whatever reason went to a comic book format, and then they legacy number it. Stupid. Um, and then the only thing I liked with that is that that was the Ron Garney newer style, like the Men of Wrath style. And then
Right.
they did put out a trade. I don't know if they put them out individually, but they put a trade out in black and white, which was kind of just like photo stated from his artboard. So it was a lot of ink. It was like all washes and stuff. So it was cool. It was cool. Ron Garney, new art. And that was Duggan. I think that was Duggan. Or yeah, I think that was Duggan on that one. So anyway, Titan's still giving you the most bang for your buck.
Right.
Hattush.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I went into this not hoping for much, and I left it kind of good.
It's fine. I
It's
here's
I went into it mid, and I came out slightly above mid. Like I went back and looked at it a second time. Like the art's all solid. The story's kind of good. Like it things happen that I didn't expect to happen, and that's
mhm,
what I like. Like Jeff Loeb just didn't do this by the numbers. I think it's a step above. You know, I think it's a better Jeff Loeb than we've had in the past. I think he's
for
like not
sure.
resting.
No. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty solid. I just thought it was pretty routine. I don't understand. I did look this up. This
You know what I
is
like
the
about that cover?
same.
That cover is not good Jim Lee because Jim Lee, like the arms are bigger than they should be. I think he's always been very like everyone's like, oh, Jim Lee's anatomy. Jim Lee's anatomy. I think Jim Lee's like, fuck anatomy because I'm Jim Lee and I could just here's a wonky arm. That arm's wonky. That right arm. But like,
Yeah, the foreshortening. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's you know what? Do it though. Like Jim Lee, I think Jim Lee's gonna look really good 3 issues in. I think something's gonna happen. I think he's just gonna hit a stride. I hope. This is my
Yeah.
hope, Mark. Jim Lee's got like 10 kids living with him. He's still head of the company. Like the problem. Here's the problem, Mark. He can't sit down and draw day after day after day.
Hmm.
He does this, does that, and here's 3 hours. Let me do a little noodling. Here's the other kids are asleep. Let me do something. It's Saturday morning. Let me like. He's not getting a chance to just. And I could be totally wrong here. He
Hmm.
could have taken a sabbatical from work or a vacation or whatever. But he's not doing that day-to-day work that helps
Right.
artists get really good. You
Yeah,
know?
I don't think you're wrong on it. I did put we might actually hate this or like this. So what I did was I did my screenshots on Hattush, and then I went back to I grabbed the first issue of Hush 1, which is 15 years ago. So after this, we can kind of look at that. My issue with this cover is I just feel, and once we look at the next cover, once we look at the Hush 1 first part cover, I just think that logo would look better with it looks better with Jim Lee under it. It just does, dude. Like we'll see it, but and also I really feel it's weird that you're using this is Jorge Jimenez's logo. He created this logo when Tom King was on, and it changed slightly in the middle of Tom King's run when Jorge did a couple things. So Jorge Jimenez has been working on Batman for like 6 or 7 years on and off. It's kind of crazy how long he's been on Batman. But I just feel like the second it goes to Jim Lee, it should go back to the Hush One logo, especially when they redo Batman's logo again, which where him and has a design it's a little bit different than this. When Fraction comes on, when him and Fraction relaunch it, soft relaunch or whatever, uh, and he's on issue 4 or something. I just read that he's on. No, I think Fraction's on issue 6 or 7 or 8, and Jorge's on issue 2 or 3. So they're
Okay.
ahead. They're going to be ahead. No lates. Uh, Good. I just feel like it should. Yeah, this is his design with the bat, and I feel like this is the laziest fucking thing ever having this 2 in there. It's so goofy. It's like it was a promo. And they never updated. They're like, oh, we'll do that temp. We'll have that temp in. Oh, we gotta put it out.
Yeah, I think
Like
you and I discussed we would have preferred like the Batman logo from like the early 400s.
yeah, we'll
Like
see it. We'll see
something.
it in a little bit. Just do the same one. If this is Hush 2,
No, you're right.
make
Do
it
the
look
same thing.
exactly like that. And we also think that they didn't renumber this because they know that Absolute Batman is going to have better numbers than this. They tried with lots of weird incentives with this, but it did not sell more than Absolute
I think
Batman.
it's we don't know the exact numbers for either. I think they're both around
Hmm.
400,000, but
That's because
like
there's
they
a
don't
bunch
we
of
don't
weird stuff in here. There's like CGC stuff and signed and black and white,
yeah.
and it's just goofy shit. You're doing every gimmick ever. Um, but for the most part, I mean, it feels right back into that. I think it's the exact team Coloring felt the same. Everything felt the same. And once we look at the next one, like you really couldn't tell me that was, oh, that's Hush 1, Hush 2, which is what we like. It's not the same thing as Dark Knight and Dark Knight Strikes Again, which is very polar opposite, right? So we're getting Alex Sinclair doing the Alex Sinclair thing. Not much different.
No, it did. This looks very much like the Alan Sinclair of 20 years ago.
Yeah. I guess a
Not,
little flourishes here, but again, nothing distracting. Nothing distracting past. I think the Batman. I don't like this Joker. I feel like this Joker is a little different than his last Joker. I feel like the last Joker was a lot more was like lanky, you know.
yeah,
Um,
there was a cooler looking Joker. The nose and chin look weird. Little too Bob Hope-ish or something. I don't know.
yeah, just a little too. Yeah, right there. I know what you're saying right there. Yeah. So, but you know, what's the team here? I don't know these editors. Rob
They call
Levin.
them Piranha, but they are not Piranha. Just saying.
That's right. And here's the new big Jim Lee creation. What's he called? Silence.
Yeah, silence.
Yeah. See, do the weird stuff. Oh, that's what I don't know if they're gonna do. Because remember during Hush, they would have pages of him drawing in a weird thin line style and watercolors and stuff, and because he was looking at all that Batman the World stuff. He was looking at
Oh
actually,
yeah,
I think he was actually looking at Enrico Marini, who did this week's or last week's Long Halloween. So this felt really tight and stiff. I feel like everything seemed really
that's what she
inside,
said.
tight and stiff.
But
I
but save
also
you.
dislike I don't your Oracle. I don't want I
Oh yeah,
never
that's right. You
I'm
don't
not on board with her not being in a wheelchair.
you don't believe a Batgirl can walk.
I don't. No, I don't. Because again, you can't have both things. You can't have the mileage of that. They even do it in here. They even show you. They even do the mileage of it. They're like, let's get the emotional mileage. Let's get you some member berries, right?
They do
Um,
have some. They do serve you up a heaping of member berries in this.
member berries.
Because
Here
well,
we go.
the whole
Get
point of
that butt.
Hush is member berries.
It is. You're basically doing this. I also think it's really funny that you'll see when we look at Hush issue 1, the last one, 4 whatever, 408 or whatever. Like it's the same exact thing. Girls show up, she shows her butt off. Like it's like the same exact beats. So it's not Force Awakens tight as close, but it's not that far off. Now that being said, we like the rhythms of how comic books are created. Have action, rest action,
Yeah,
got it. So we're okay. And again, it's hard to complain. It is a top notch, book all around. But I felt, yeah, man, I felt it's just a really stiff, man. I also think it's really weird that if he's in the cave like by himself or wherever the hell he is, like would he put another costume on to examine his own costume? Right? Just seems odd to me. Like, wouldn't it be easier to just
Also,
draw Bruce just kind of standing there?
yeah. Also, is that the bat symbol he decided to use?
Yeah, I don't know. What do you mean?
Just
Like
I don't know. It's just weird symbol. It's not quite as round as Dark Waters. I almost said
dark
Dark
patterns?
Matter. Dark Patterns.
You're
Right.
doing you're doing
With Dan,
Dan
with
Waters.
Dan Waters. Yeah.
You're just like
Dan.
it's all
Is that by Dan Pattern?
it's by Dan Sherman, Dark Sherman. So I don't know. Yeah, it's just goofy to me. I don't know why he would, but I think you're right. It felt really stiff.
He
Like
didn't he didn't make it Jim Lee enough. Like
this just like
give me a new Jim Lee costume. Give me a new Jim Lee bat
yeah.
symbol.
But I think that's what we really liked about the first one is that it wasn't. It was just like Batman. Oh, that's right. Because yeah, we'll see it. Because again, the symbol that he had in there was just the big symbol. So we'll get to it. Let's get right to it. Yeah. So it's again, I just think it's a little too stiff here, a little too stiff here. A lot of cross hatching, a lot of lines. I like it. I think that I do like it, but I want to be excited about it. Here we go. Now we got the member berries. Let's pop these member berries out. Even this feels a little too truncated. It's a little too, you know, get me off the page. Give it to me. Just like, you know. Yeah, his foreshortening's a little weird. The arms are a little weird, you know.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do it. Member berry time, everybody. Let's do it. Yeah, there we go. There it is. There's no video footage of that, right? I don't think there, or maybe there is. Oh
Yeah, there was
God.
wow. Yeah, he
I
was
guess.
video filming. He was video filming everything else. Like, why wouldn't he film this stuff too?
Oh yeah, yeah. Jesus God, just kill him. So, all right. So here we go. Give me that symbol, man. Look how good. Look how
No, no,
good
that's great. That's
this
great.
is, right?
Why doesn't that look? And you know what else? Look at the boots here. Jim Lee was drawing some kick-ass boots. I always think about his when he first draws Cable, and Cable kicks the door, and he's like, "It's New Mutants training time."
Hmm.
And he's got a big old M on the bottom of his boot.
Yeah, I don't know. It just everything is, and even just looking at this, see, it doesn't look that different. Um, Again, kind of a boring double. It's almost, I'm telling you, it's almost identical to what we saw in that. It's like here's a double spread surveillance. Okay. But you can kind of remember that. You remember this being impactful. I remember that. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
this. Um, Remember this,
yeah. I
and you
remember
got a little
this.
cool stuff. There you go. Got a little one back there. But look how good this is. Like this is just I feel like we were just, yeah. Oh my God, there's just a lot more detail. So now I'm like not now I'm hating on Hattush.
Yeah, yeah. We weren't hating on it.
I
Now you're like,
ruined it. I ruined it by having us do that. But yeah, this came out in June 2010. 2010. So
wow, 15 years ago.
yeah. So I give it like a seven. Give it a seven-ish. 7.5. Uh, G.I. Joe ARAH only grabbed a couple pages here. But, having again, it's so funny that we have two different, I'm not having trouble like really differentiating like what's going on in either too, which
No,
I feel
I
like
agree
I
with you.
should, because this storyline, basically this like zombie-ish storyline has been going on since like a Real American Hero number like 120 or something. It's been going on for forever, like a long time, And I don't know. Do you think you'll ever go back and read um, whatever it stopped from? Did you read all of Marvel?
No,
Yeah, I haven't either. I probably
no.
read the first 30, 40, and some yearbooks.
I read
Um,
I read all the Marvel Transformers, and I read the
yeah,
G2 and the Transformer crossovers and all that
and
stuff.
the UK, the Death's Head, and
Everything.
the annuals, which they're
I
putting in. They're putting
Listen, man. When I retire,
that in the
nothing's off the
compendium.
table.
Hmm.
Which is just weird. That's what's going to come to. When I retire, I will read everything else.
Read it all.
I will. I don't have
Um,
time to read it now.
Yeah, I love Mooneyham on this. It's funny, like it's such a weird. It's to me, it almost feels like it's Andy Cooper drawing it with, or Andy or Adam Cooper drawing it with Klaus Janson inks. It's not. It's neither of those guys.
Yeah,
None of the three of those guys,
since
but this is a combination of all three.
since day one, we've enjoyed this guy's art. You read it more first, and then you're like, all right. Like I was just glancing through it, and you're like, it's actually worth reading. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's really good. Even like this page is kind of like it's a funny page. This actually felt a lot like Mateo Scalera. You get a little bit more humor, a little bit more expression than he normally puts in. But yeah, this also it's actually really funny. These people are just walking out of the can I have your phone? It just kind of so that was a fun thing. This month's going to be neat. I think next week, this week, or this week we're in now. Um, yeah, I want to do a reread on 21, and then I think we get Beachhead this week. So all these should be great. We got our boy Andrew Cronky, our Awestruck approved, big fan,
Yeah,
doing the
yeah.
Roadblock, which is my favorite. It's my favorite GI Joe character of all time. It was actually my favorite action figure as well.
Oh, good.
Uh,
Yeah, for me
so
it was
yeah, really
my first was
solid.
my first was Shipwreck,
Okay,
the little parrot, or is what is he on Venture Brothers? He's Shore Leave.
surely.
Do you ever watch Venture Brothers?
I don't think so. Was that Brendan
Oh
Small? Did Brendan Small work on that, or
no,
he
no,
worked
that's
on
he's just
Metalopolis
Metalocalypse. Yeah, Brandon Small.
and the movie?
Right, right. No, you should watch Venture Brothers. It's actually really good. You would actually like it because it starts off just a straight up Johnny Quest thing, but
Okay.
they end up having like everything. They got a bunch of Marvel Universe style characters in it,
It's
like
funny.
throughout.
I've grabbed some dollar books last week. It might have been
Did
even
you?
less for a dollar. Shocker, I
You?
know. But I got the what was the Future Quest? I grabbed the Future Quest variant cover because it was Harvey Birdman and his bird. and they're like putting their foreheads together, and I was like, this is the sweetest cover I've ever seen. I don't remember who drew it, but it's yeah, up to pop. It's freaking awesome. I was like, oh, I gotta buy that. I didn't read that. What's weird about that is how did I not read that when that came out? Future Quest. It was like Jeff Parker writing it, and
Oh
like
yeah,
Steve
when they
Rude did the first half of it for the
yeah
most part.
they were kind of good. I
Weird.
liked them.
How did I not read that at all? So odd to me.
Yeah, it is weird.
Um, so yeah, a couple ish. I think I only have, again, pretty much the next so many. I only have maybe 4 or 5 pictures of, kind of blow through these.
All right,
This was really solid, creepy.
blow away, Mark.
You know, we love the Nick Klein,
We do.
uh,
Nick Klein is a phenomenal artist.
and he's working super well with. I believe he colored a lot of his own stuff in his early works, but he's working really well with Matt Wilson on here. Was creepy last issue, creepy here,
Oh
where
yeah.
this person's almost like
Ugh.
Husk and just kind of like, takes her skin off, right?
Yeah.
She tries to have a kind of a normal
Yeah.
thing.
Try have the right normal interactions with other people, and it's just
Now, when I after what I didn't really think about after I read this and look at the center spread, it's just insane. I love this weird like day glow, almost like glow in the dark coloring, right?
mm,
So I guess we're doing some banner stuff, and that's all good. But what after this, and then an absorbing man back up, and I feel like this still is still we're still kind of in the shadow of Al Ewing because after Al Ewing was what? Was that Kate's after Al Ewing?
yes,
And then the Kate's run kind of fell apart because of his car accident, and
right.
then
And
they
then
just kind of ended it.
and well, no, Otley took over the writing for the last couple issues.
Yeah, it just kind of carried the concept through, and then it went to this, I guess. But we're still very, we're still very body horror on all this, and but after this was over, and I was looking at this. He's been putting this. So Philip Kennedy Johnson's been putting these in every book, and I just kind of blow by them. But I should kind of read these. These are all like pulp, like fable fairy tales type of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. There's basis for a lot of this stuff, and it's pretty good reads. I try to I at least skim through it.
Yeah, it's hard. Look at all those paragraphs. You know what I
Listen,
mean?
man, it's when your brain is set to comic reading mode, it's hard
Yeah,
to turn it off and go to text reading mode.
yeah.
Alan Moore has tested us more than like any other
Alan
creator.
Moore. Read this. Read this. But see, I like it when he puts it in the middle of stuff. Like one of them, I'm trying to think which miniseries was it? Century? I feel like he was messing around with pages like crazy in one of the maybe the second to last League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, where it would just be like the whole page would be like you'd have text there in the middle. I feel like it was just crazy. I feel like it was all over the place. So, but yeah, but I feel like if you're right, if you read it all together and then in the back you have like 4 pages full, you're just like I'm out. Or that one Grant Morrison issue of Batman where like I think maybe Sienkiewicz or somebody came in and did the issue like, yeah, let's check this out. That was J.H. Williams, I believe. Yeah, J.H. Williams is going to draw Batman, and then it was like just paintings or something, and then like just text, and you're like, fuck this.
Yeah.
So this is so we have the 5 issue. I felt that Absolute Wonder Woman 5 just kind of ended flat. It didn't really like end with a bang. So this was a little bit annoying for me because I feel like we're still not doing anything. Also, if this is absolute, can we just have some people smoking, just like in Absolute Martian Manhunter? Is that a thing that we can start
Gods gods
introducing
don't
in?
gods don't need to smoke.
That can't be in like, that couldn't have been in when they were in like Brazil or whatever, wherever the heck they were last. Somebody or in Gotham. There's somebody smoking in Gotham. Come on, man. So I mean, this looked good. I don't know who this person is, Mattia de Ulis,
Yeah, I don't know who that is. It
but
reminds me of a
coloring all the
little.
way through.
Yeah, he's the artist. He did everything. It's solid. It's solid all the way through. It's not what I particularly like in my comics. Like I like a more defined line. We've had those discussions. But the art's good. It reminds me of who did the Punisher with Jason Aaron? Is that not James Reyes? Sayas?
There's
Jesus
oh
Sayas?
yeah, Jesus says yeah.
I see a little bit of that in this.
Or even like Ariel Olivetti. Like there's a little bit of Ariel Olivetti painted
Uh-huh.
stuff. Yeah, I mean the 3D imaging here. I mean this looks a little. I don't want it to look uncanny. I don't want it to look. I want it to look like
Yeah,
comic books, man. I don't know.
right.
It's calling me
That's a
crazy.
valley. It's a valley we don't want.
It's the uncanny valley. Yeah, I mean it was fine. I think this is 2 issues, and then it goes into, and then Hayden Sherman's back. So we'll see. Again, I don't have any concept. I don't have any idea on when any of them are going to meet each other. And I think this week is the absolute Green Lantern, which again, just like you, I don't read any of the previous stuff. I stay away from it. So,
Right.
so we'll see. It's fine. I give it a 5.35. So I'm just going to start doing that.
That's good.
So
I give it a 13 stars.
now the next two, well, I kind of grouped them together. So this is the five kids walk into a bank team. This was Tyler Boss on this one, and Matt Rosenberg did a book that was similar. These are one of the books that they just kind of say a sentence. That's the title, like something's killing the children. This one, you'll do bad things, and we'll get
Yeah,
into the
yeah.
next one next.
We get the sentences.
But what's funny is that Tyler Boss picked a person who draws just like Tyler Boss, so it's kind of neat. And I also really confused too because this is through Tiny Onion.
This
Uh,
this kind of reminds me of Paul Execta. I don't know his
as a
last name.
Seta, yeah,
Azazeta.
the guy who did
There's some of that there.
Outcast
Yeah.
and some Spider-Man, some good Spider-Man
My
work
baby
actually.
don't. Yeah. They.
This
It's
was fine. I don't know. I feel like they're all kind of bleeding together. I feel like I'm reading a bunch of different horror books between the Deviant, between the book from Dark Horse, the serial killer
right, right,
book.
right. The whole
This,
series of one shots from Image, Ninth Circle.
yeah, I feel like they're not exactly the same. But I do like the color schemes in this. And there was a book that was called Loose Ends a couple years ago, which was Jason Latour and Chris Brunner. Felt a little bit like that, maybe because it has a cool car here too. But yeah, really, really bloody, but some pretty fun stuff. I don't know if I grasped everything that was going on in it, and that's again me being old, and I think I just need to potentially read this together. Now, unlike last year, I think there was a series where they were was it the five? It was a Ram V series, and I think a Dan Water series where they kind of like put them together, Six Fingers, and I know they put the trade out, which has both of them coming together, where they printed them separately with two miniseries, but I think it was two sides of the same crime. So this week, both these guys, Tyler Boss and Matt Rosenberg, were just touring. They were in Philly and they were up in Lawrenceville at one of my LCSs here up at Final Boss. So it's kind of cool. They're in a car and they're going to I think 30 shops or something like that in the next 2 weeks.
Wow.
Um, so even the design and the logo is similar here, but they're not connected. They're not connected. So this is Matt Rosenberg, Stefano Landini, which I feel like did some Marvel work, but I don't really feel like any of the art in here. It looks like Christopher Mitten. It looks like the guy who does the Something's Killing the Children. The one thing I liked a good bit of this, but this felt a lot like this story, especially here with this page. It feels a lot like the five kids walk into a bank. But I don't want we have to this is the person we're going to kind of be following, this like Rook guy or something, right? Is it a Rook thriller? This is the guy. And it's just Burt Reynolds. So I don't know.
It is. Yeah. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of from the world of Minor Threats, The Brood right now. It's like I think there's two or three books that have something similar in this right now about the whole father's the mad scientist, the Lex Luthor, the whatever.
Mm.
Here's the robots that watch me. My dad does horrible things. Do I want to be like him? Do I not want to be like him? We don't know. And it's kind of a familiar thing going. It's still good. I still like that, but it wasn't like
Yeah, it's a bit of a trope. Did you ever read this? I haven't read any of this.
no, no. I thought about getting into it, but it just didn't happen.
Another sentence. We love sentence books. We get the sentences. Nice house on the lake. What's the furthest place from that lake over there?
We only find them when they're dead. Yeah, yeah.
There's just so many long sentences. So back to, but both of those, I mean, I think both of them are probably, I'm going to give them, we're just going to keep changing the ratings. I'm going to give them both Bs, B to B minus. Just going to keep changing all the ratings.
That's fine. That's fine. I give them two Purple Hearts and a
Amazing Spider-Man 964.
964.
Now, can you imagine if the last like 6 issues would have been this team? We would probably have a much better time. I just don't know what the plan was with this, but this was a friggin' blast. Having like this, there is a certain element of Joe Kelly, Ed McGuinness together, please.
No, they work good together.
And look at these double spread splash pages are just insane. They're just insane. This is insane, and I think this one is gorgeous. This one is a lot of again, McGinnis stretched himself a little bit further when he's drawing Spider-Man. This is a little bit throwback to him kind of drawing big, bulky stuff, which is fun. Which is because remember when he did Deadpool was a friggin' like house. Um, so, but I liked kind of all of it. I liked the Sidorak kind of fight. I think this floating head stuff is such a major trope, but it's not too bad, not too bad. The earlier we were on the phone because this week Tom Brevoort on his Substack just keeps telling people that we shouldn't really be wanting Peter and MJ together, but
Yeah, I was
at
gonna
the end of this, right? Because I guess
right.
that's MJ. It's kind of a weird drawing there, but like I get like would I have liked this scene better if it was MJ? 1,000,000%. A million
Yeah,
percent. This was the only false thing that kind of came to me at the end. I just feel like there would have been I just feel like it'd be more impactful if it was Mary Jane. I don't need to know. I
yeah.
don't, you could throw out whatever continuity that
But also,
she
like,
was like a stepmom or is still a stepmom. I don't fucking know. Like I don't know if that's the
no,
shit's still
those kids are
around.
gone. They never existed.
So
It's
goofy.
it's a weird story. But I thought they were kind of building up him and Black Cat again. Like they,
Yeah.
so where's
Yeah.
that? So I mean, it's fine that this. Listen, man, it's so weird. They're like the people at Marvel are just so hardcore about. Oh, we know we need Peter Parker to have sex with other women. Like,
Right. Yeah.
like you
Why?
and I. Why? What's your obsession
Right.
with that, dudes?
Yeah, I don't know
You
why.
know, it's like we gotta dissolve the marriage just so he can bone randoms.
Yeah,
Like,
there hasn't been a character. Can you name any character? Well, I think as I just watched, it's been like 14 or 15 years since like what was that? One More Day, right?
one more
Like
day and then turn into brand new day.
Brand New Day,
Oh,
which is going to be the name of the new Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man 4.
right, right.
So,
So I don't really like to think about brand new day. I think it's a shame. I think a lot of good Spider-Man comics happen after brand new day, but it's
mhm,
built on a foundation of like garbage.
right. Yeah.
Like there's no story that you couldn't have told where Peter wasn't married to MJ, with the exception of him boning other chicks.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's the only thing you lose out on. And if your entire writing is just based around how many chicks you can get Peter with, like get a life. Go write romance novels. Go write soap operas. The whole, you and I came into comics. Peter Parker was married. It was
Mhm,
fine. We dealt with it. We looked up to it. We're like, hey, look, nerdy Peter Parker gets a hot chick. That's awesome.
right.
We would like to have many hot chicks as well. And if you needed someone else to date, well, here's Flash Thompson dating Black Cat. Here's one of his other friends dating this character. Here's Robbie Robertson's son. I just forgot his first name. He's dating the new Beetle. Like
Mhm,
you can get your perviness through something else. And I'm not even shaming it because I certainly do enjoy
mhm,
that part of comics too. I like romance of comics, but like you always you mess with Peter by marrying him and then taking it away. And they took it away twice because at one point they killed Mary Jane,
right.
and we kind of
Right.
got used to her being dead. Peter starts dating the daughter of the burglar who
Right. Right.
killed
Right.
Uncle Ben.
Jesus God. That's so
Yeah,
stupid.
I know, right?
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
well, it's okay because Batman's literally doing the same thing right now. The
Right.
detective,
Right.
where Bruce Wayne was banging the daughter of Joe Chill.
But see, that's where I check out. Like to me, when they start putting in like weird retro continuity stuff, I check out more and more and more. I was real excited for the beginning of that run, but Tom Taylor always has to retro continuity shit, and he just fucking ruins it for me. So like I want to look at it because it's Mikel Janin's wonderful art, but like it's just I hate the concept, so I've liked it less and less, and I'm almost all the way out. Um, Back to this, the backup is fine, but it's not realistic whatsoever. You mean to tell me that money's flying around New York, and then for whatever reason that he's telling everyone to give it back, and then they do? I don't
Yeah.
buy it at all. I
Yeah.
don't buy that.
Welcome to the real world, jackass. That
We
ain't how
lost
it's gonna happen.
104,000. 104,000 got taken, but 2,896 got given. I don't believe any of it. No way.
I don't because listen, I'm super honorable and I'm super like, you overpay
Right.
me, I'll give you back your change. But guess what? I would run away with that money.
If it's floating from the sky, you're grabbing it. Sorry, I don't know. I don't know what the
Yeah.
point of this was. This supposed to be the tone of the new. Is this Peter Parker laughing, crying in his with all his bills around him. And and even that, just like, can we figure out something else that we can do here?
It's laziness. It's like these are the same people who need him to date other people. Like,
We need to
oh,
have
Peter
him broke.
Parker, he's so stupid. He's
It
a
doesn't make
genius.
sense because didn't he have own a company? Like, there's no money from that. There's nothing from that.
They wrote a loophole. He's like, I'm just taking a regular paycheck. My company's worth billions.
Doesn't
I'm
make any
like,
sense.
no. Like every other CEO of any company ever has a golden parachute. You're not so dumb as not to give yourself a golden parachute. Company goes under, you still got X amount of millions stashed away. You're not so honorable, like you're not going to take care of yourself because the Parker luck is you're going to lose that company. And what sucks is he has all this technology. The company bombs. He can't go sell that technology somewhere else. It's
Yeah, you
really
can't sell the patents. It just
yeah.
doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Yeah, it felt very Greg Land at the end of this too. It's a very Greg Land
It
face,
is a
you know.
very Greg Land face.
That's
That
fine.
turns me.
I don't know.
That's fine. They're not the artist.
No. So here we go. So this is kind of the prequel. It's kind of the end of it's the end of the storyline that just was, and kind of moving into the next, I guess, crossover, which is going through World's Finest, right? And this
Yeah, correct.
and then just this. I forget. But again, just more fun. Wonderful Dan Moore. My only issue with this, and again, that's so when we talked about Absolute Martian Manhunter earlier, clearly, this is I forget if it's Tamara Bonville, and I'm trying to remember who colors this. But if you can do some of this stuff here, you could have figured out a way to have Martian Manhunter very plainly like just give me an extra digital page. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Just with all this again, like I don't know how they start with this. Like I don't know how he gives this to the colorist. I'm not exactly sure. But I mean, there's always an impact every single issue of something crazy. I don't know if I buy. I don't remember this. We talked a little bit about this maybe on the news. Was this like this from Wade with like the thought balloons that are cartoons?
I
Like
feel like that's a thing. I feel
that
like
was a
yeah,
Wade thing? I
yeah, Wade
thought,
Ramos.
yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know. I feel like DeZago did that. DeZago did that with who worked on that later. It was Ethan Van Sciver worked on with
Yeah,
DeZago later.
Dazago, Van
Yeah.
Sciver, and then Peter David. I don't know if Peter David used it or not in Young Justice.
Young Just Us. Young
Just
Just
Us.
Us. Yuck. It's fine. This was fine. This looked. I'm trying to think. I can't figure out what this looks like. Is that like a Panosian face? It looks like a Panosian face, sort of like the new
Yeah, I don't know
Panosian.
what's going on here because half these characters are like not
They're
there.
not active
Right.
because I don't know if this.
Especially Lex Luthor,
Yeah, because
which
Luthor
Wade would know.
basically. Yeah, Lex Luthor just got arrested. So here we go. So this was a book we were very excited about. It's one of our first news stories. We know that Casey does. He loves always talking about Chamber. We got that's not Warpath, so that's Thunderbird,
Yeah, it's
Deadpool,
Thunderbird. Right.
Wolverine, and Cable. But the first book didn't do anything. This book didn't do. No one is going anywhere. They're dumbing down Cable's arm. Give me a good Cable arm. There hasn't been a good Cable arm in a while. I was looking at something last night, and it was the Willis Portaccio drawing of Cable, and I think Boom Boom in the like swimsuit issue,
Oh, right.
and he had extra stuff in Cable's arm and stuff. Like it was crazy. It was so cool looking. It was a really cool looking Cable, and like you said, Jim Lee Cable looked a little different, had a different boot. This is a flat, plain boot, and again, we're kind of okay with crisscross. It's just
No, we like
there's
Chris
no
Cross.
action in this book at all.
No. And
Everyone's just talking to each other, and
listen,
they
man,
get in there, and let's go over there.
I love Joe Casey, but like time after time, it's like, yeah, I don't know if he just doesn't have it anymore. It's just he always comes off kind of boring. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just me, or maybe it's just him. Yeah, I was really excited about this book because I'm like, yeah, Joe Casey, Brighton Cable. We have a great love for him and Ladron's Cable run. Him, Deadpool, cool. I love Thunderbird. Like Thunderbird's always been an X-Men character. I kind of want it back from the dead, and I expected a lot from this book. But like Chris Cross's art is just too smooth for it.
Mhm.
I want
Yeah.
something rougher. I want that Jorge Corona, James Harron. Give me a
Mhm.
little more weirdness. That Daniel Warren Johnson look. That's what this book needed. It needed to look something gritty.
there's too much cable Wolverine stuff right now. We listen. We had $1 billion movie. I got that, but this week was really hard. This was hard. I just want to read Deadpool. Who's writing that? Is that Ben Percy and then Joshua Cassara? I
Yeah,
just want to read that. That
that's
book's
kind of
fun
that book's doing what this
and
book should be doing.
has the villain and Strife, the
The
villain
Villain Strife.
and it's and then there's Maverick showing up. So yeah, that book. You're right. That book is Weapon X-Men basically. The concept of if you drop a cable in there, it wouldn't seem weird. It wouldn't seem weird. And that's the way I feel like it should be. It should just be. Again, we get one more issue of X-Force or
And,
it's canceled because
and
again,
honestly,
cable's not doing
just
anything.
following this Joe Casey line, Blood Squad 7 should be better too. Like that's not
Mhm.
reading as good as like it should be. Like, hey, as we're honoring 90s books, but you're writing it like as boring as he's writing this book. And
Yeah.
it's a shame because I hate to shit on Joe Casey because I love Joe Casey. But I'm just not getting it. And nobody else did either, and that's why this book's getting canceled.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel like it's so unceremonious. Like again, Brevort's just always is like, well, blah. And I'm just like, because he tried to put Cable in a moratorium, and then they didn't. You know what I mean? Like the popularity of him just kind of overrode that. Like he has just bad decisions. I don't know.
Yeah, he does have bad decisions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, listen, the entire X-Men line sucks. The entire X-Men line is
Yeah.
bad. Um, so not bad.
Beautiful cover. That is a great cover.
Yeah,
That's the
this is
stand up. That's the
it's so
stand, right?
funny. Yeah, that's the stand up. But what's so crazy about it is like just looking at this, I mean, this looks like an anime movie. You
They
know what I
both,
mean?
yeah, yes. Both women look very anime.
Um, I was a little I knew Eddie Barrows wasn't going to be, or I knew that Dan Moore wasn't drawing this, but it's really hard to go to that cover and then you just have a different artist inside.
Yeah, and
Oh,
I like Eddie Barrows, but like,
yeah, and I like the Sinker too because I feel like the Sinker, what the Sinker is? The Sinker is like it's like Eddie Barrows because Eddie Barrows didn't always draw like this. This is this is his like Alfredo Akala, which when he would finish John Buscema would just be extra. Like all this flourishes. Eddie Barrows didn't do that before, so I feel like that is just this dude having a good time, and I'm fine with it.
all right,
That's all
yeah,
right.
do it. Have a good time because the detail
Uh,
shows.
yeah, like this doesn't have to be in the rain, but it makes it much better looking, like much better looking,
Yeah, because
and
they're not using the rain to hide anything.
yeah, they're not using weirdo digital rain too. Like they're drawing it, or if they are messing with it, they're doing a cool job. I wonder if this is on paper. I feel like it. I don't know. I don't know. But look at that. Like, yeah, they're having a lot of fun with, the like just the weird, kinetic. How do we feel? I guess it's just rain coming off. I never really thought about the way like Superman flies until it was like Man of Steel, or Man of Steel, he's like, he's about to fly and like things kind of move around him. How do you explain that? Like he's like rearranging the atoms, or how is he flying? Like,
John Byrne has it more almost like a TK type of deal.
yeah, right.
Other people, yeah, it's like molecular motion, or
Mhm.
everyone's got a different reason. But you know what?
Right.
Here's the thing, Mark.
It's like
It's
a
a
force
comic book.
field around. Right. But like,
You know what I hate? I hate that answer. Oh, it's a comic. Like, no, can I think
right.
about it? Can I imagine?
Imagine, imagine.
Just imagine it. It's very good.
But yeah, I like Mad Lena, and then I think that look at that gun. That gun's
I
insane.
know. That's awesome.
That gun's insane. But I do like that there's a backup plan with all this, and Mercy has this like it almost looks like a Green Lantern symbol there. Essentially has Metallo's art.
Who?
Uh, Metallo,
Metallo?
or Metallo,
I don't know. That's funny.
amalgam.
We've only ever read it, so
No, I know, no, someone, I think I was watching a podcast and they said Metallo, so that's why it's in my head.
okay.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, again, I can't wait for our massive 25th issue, so
Yeah.
I'm very excited
It's
for that.
is Dan Morris sticking with it after that, or is he stopping at 25?
No, I think he's on. Yeah, I think he's on, as far as I
Yeah,
know.
I hope so.
I hope so. I think his stuff is just insane. That I don't mind having this fill in again because it's going to be again a massive 25th issue. So I'm good with that. So I'm not good with this. I'm so exhausted from this. Why is this real time? I don't think this makes any sense. And I know that's a Chiquetto cover, but I feel like I did not notice Sandman from the begin, like from like looking at this cover earlier. I don't
I
know if
know.
it's just the coloring. It's weird. This is different, no? Like it's a little bit better on the full. I feel like that's darker. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if we're gaining anything with this being out here. And also really weird, isn't Dave Messina, didn't David Messina who drew this, didn't he draw some of Bendis's run towards the end?
Did he?
Either
No.
I thought he did.
Right, Messina, because that's the guy who drew the bounce with Joe Casey, right?
Yeah, he's been around a long time.
Yeah,
I feel like he
he
did some
he
Ultimate X-Men,
almost
Ultimate
did
Spider-Man before.
he almost did Youngblood.
Mm.
Joe Casey's run. He almost did. He was drawing the next issue when Liefeld opted to draw it himself, and then we
If
never
I
got that issue.
um yeah, it's like what I don't know. I just this I don't know if we're really gaining anything. And I guess that, we're having a little bit of a Black Cat text romance. I don't know. Again, I don't know uh Ultimate Universe wise if how long they've been in here for a month or more. They're on the run from Craven. We're still doing that. We're still doing that. That's been what, 4 months, 5 months? It just seems like comic books is an incident, right? So if Spider-Man's fighting Craven, it's like a day, 2 days. So, but if we're gonna do this format where it's like he's now like put himself in a corner where every comic book has to be like a month or at least a time in the month, and next month's going to be that next month. So we're like I don't know. I feel like it's just very limited on storytelling. It was novel for, and I don't know how he's going to stop doing it. He's not going to be able to stop doing it either. I don't know. It's annoying. Um,
I feel you.
this isn't that much different than a normal Sandman origin. Okay,
Yeah, it's different enough.
here we go. We're gonna have this. We're gonna do this again. All right, let's start. Now we're hanging out in the webs. It's fine. It's fine. I don't know. This book's annoying. It doesn't have enough action, so whatever. I'm out. I know we're trying to remain positive. This is positive. This is super fun.
It's positive.
I really wish I was reading this when I was like 12. Yeah, this is a perfect book.
Yeah,
Look at that. It's like almost like clay. That
yeah, it's
Bjorn
weird.
Barons. I don't know how he's making this. It's all digital. Crazy. Uh, Eric Powell.
I
No
love it.
Jay Lee, but yeah, I don't mind if you switch out the Jay Lee for an Eric Powell. No problem. Again, just a fun, very lot of good action, a lot of good words here. I just think that again, just super super light, super fun. Um, not a ton of plot, but I don't really need it. Again, this feels like more like because this is issue 2. I feel like this is more like issue 1, where I felt like the first issue was issue 0. So, um, but yeah, I think this would be a real fun trade. Be a fun trade to give to someone, even if they don't know exactly who these guys are, the Herculoids. Um, that was fine. I give it a 7.25. This book I give a 4 Z's. Because please, when you have a year that Gambit had last year, just give me like a Gambit issue. Just give me a Gambit issue. They didn't really
I
do
mean,
that.
this is kind of a Gambit issue. You just don't.
It's Gambit as a kid issue. I don't want to see Gambit as a kid. Because also, I don't know if I would be. I think it'd be when I look at this guy, I'm just like, is this the guy from Poltergeist 2 who's walking around? I mean, he's a little bit bigger than that guy, but that's what I think of. It's just this crazy, like Southern, scary guy. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like this retro, and I don't know if this costume's a little too weird and tight. Also, this week, Channing Tatum's going to be in, Doomsday, so we're getting a lot of good Gambit stuff, except for this book. Like in spite of this book.
Right.
And then towards the end, like here we go. This is the only action in the entire book. This is Gavin Guidry, who's fine. Um, and then it's just we got to hang out with these new characters again. I feel like everything Gail Simone and this. I think we'll see an X-Manhunt. Everyone's just eating in the kitchen, or it's just there's so much time of them doing nothing whatever.
Yeah,
Uh,
whatever.
Shadow of the Golden Crane from the world of Hellboy. I don't know why this isn't called BPRD, Shadow of the Golden Crane.
Don't know.
But really fun, really weird and spooky. I like that this new character here has this weird like ghost monkey thing. It's very Mignola. It's a new character, but it's like
Ghost
Avon.
monkey,
It,
that funky monkey.
it just kind of works. It goes into a little bit more lore stuff towards the end. I think it's 4 issues. Overall pretty solid. I give it a
Yeah.
7.5. I think it'll probably read really well in the trade. I would like to see the trade of this because I would want to see the concept art. Their trades are pretty good. They usually have stuff. They
Yeah.
usually have some
Yeah.
stuff in the back.
We're
Um,
very pro Omi. We like Mike.
yeah. Jersey guy. Jersey guy.
Yeah.
Drew.
Yeah. When I first started hanging out with him, like when we first started seeing him at shows, we seen him at a lot of shows because
Mhm.
he was from Bordentown, so he'd do every show in the area. And like the first time we met him, I think me and Walt were wearing Foo Fighters shirts. He's like Foo Fighters, and he was wearing a Foo Fighters shirt. You know?
That's funny.
Yeah, cool
He
guy.
did powers while he was working security for. Was he working in Bordentown?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, at like an armory.
right,
He's doing
right.
security at like an armory. They
So
just sit there and draw.
he's drawing in like the booth.
Yeah, that's great, dude. You're
Yeah.
getting paid to do what you want to do.
Um,
But now he's off in what is he in Seattle?
yeah, he's in Seattle or Portland, one of those.
Portland.
He's
Yeah, Portland. You're right,
I
right.
think it's Portland. Um,
Shit in one hand, wish in the other.
so Wolverine Revenge 5, I guess, are they still doing this, the red band version? Are they still doing that?
They
Or
they
did they
are.
drop that?
I think it comes out like later. So I
Yeah.
think that Dracula showed up like a week later last time. Mark, I don't even think they know. I think they're just
Yeah.
a mess over there.
It's really bad. And also, if Capullo, what did Capullo think was happening here? He's like, I want to give all this space. I'm giving you all this space to make a big, then we'll
Big
just keep it over there.
Wolverine. Yeah, that's a weird. Who is it? One person is one person figuring out these covers.
There's me going like, what is this? Like, what are
Oh,
we doing here?
is that the Martian Manhunter appearing? Is that
There it is.
absolute Martian Manhunter
There's absolute
appearing?
Martian Manhunter right here. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
Here's my biggest thing with this. I wish this was issue 1 because I felt the entire series that Capullo's bored to shit, right? Look, Capullo drew Spawn for what, 5 fucking years, 5, 6 years, and he did the Creech and shit.
yeah.
Like he likes weirdo shit. He likes the Dark Knight's metal. Draw to his strengths. When he drew Batman, he was kind of going back to more traditional, but where I remember him drawing Batman that I liked was Batman Year. What was it? 0 Year? What was it called?
Yes. Zero year?
Year Zero,
Year
whatever.
zero?
But I like that. I like that weird Batman stuff. I don't even really mind the rabbit
You were a
Batman.
big Yeah, I was gonna say you're a big fan of James Gordon Batman, weren't you?
No, but I didn't mind the design. I thought the design was kind of good. Like I just liked that it was funky. That's what I want him to do. I want to do something
Yeah,
like
who
this.
is it?
So only here is when I think the book got interesting. Like I don't like kids. I don't like kids. I do like kids. I like my kids. I like your kids. But like I don't like that this is just Colossus as a kid and he's Colossus. Like I feel like it's so goofy.
He's Colossus, kind of. He doesn't have the banding. He's
It's just
more the Chromium Man.
it doesn't make any sense. That may not make sense. Like I don't know. He could skip him. I don't know. It doesn't work that way. It's not. It's not. It doesn't work that way. That's from what I would think. Anyway, so he throws him down. He's got it. And that's it. It's Aunt Magic's sword. Just so dumb. Just have Colossus get the sword. You don't need Colossus' kid. Anyway, I just really wish this was the whole story because once he got down here,
Yeah,
not
this is all interesting. Capullo's drawing cool little neat, weird demons.
this. Just do this.
This looks great.
Just
This looks
fucking
like
do this.
this is very reminiscent of like 90s Casada. That's what it kind of has that
It's
feeling
so
of.
fun.
Yeah.
It's so fun, and like the way that the claws kind of just do this. What's wrong with this? I thought that's what he was doing. God, I'm trying to remember when you saw some of his sketches. I thought it was demons and shit. Like you saw him draw Wolverine, but there was blood, and I don't know. I don't know. I guess I can look back at the Instagram, but and then they just we get we get this, and then we get this page. That's it. And then he's gonna what? Just take over?
Take
Like
over hell.
there's just
That's
no.
Listen, when
But
any
it's over.
superhero or villain goes to hell, they always got to take it over. That's
Sure,
how it
that's
works.
fine. But like, just is this Mephisto or what? Who's just some dude? Like,
Did
is
you
that name
know?
guy named Scree? You know, like
Do you know Sim was actually a bust on Dave Sim?
no.
Sim the demon from Inferno and all that stuff was like a bust on Dave Sim.
Why?
I forget the particulars why.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's because he's a crazy misogynist.
Maybe.
So that's all right.
I
It
don't know if he was
happens.
known to be that then.
No, I don't think so. I think that was relatively newer. I just really would have liked something like I don't feel like I got any. I didn't like any issue. I
I
like
feel
these like
like
3 pages. That's
I feel
pretty
like if
much
there
it.
was another issue, it would look good. Because I feel like they had to find their flow.
Over, over.
Do you think someone else should have inked it?
No, I like this. I thought this at the end was good. This at the end is what I
Oh
want.
yeah, it's all good.
I want that. I want this. Who inked this? Tim
Townsend,
Townsend?
Tim Townsend.
Yeah, I'm all right.
It's
Who's the combination that worked at Bacalo? It was Alve, Tim Townsend, Bacalo himself. Be
yeah,
weird. I guess Bacalo wouldn't be inking Craig Capullo, but
no.
wouldn't be.
But like, what's John Glapian doing? Is he doing stuff for McFarlane?
Maybe. Yeah.
Glapian he did a good job. We all know Miki did a good job, but Miki's at Ghost
Ghost Machine.
Machine, Ghost Machine.
Doing what?
Man,
He's thinking Reyes or something? I've been Reyes.
yeah, I think so.
I've been Heist.
You been reading that book? I like it.
No, I can't read any of it.
Hyde Street. You know what it is? I'm just so into horror anthologies right now.
Mm-mm. No.
Like that Epitaph from the Abyss and the Cruel Kingdom, all the EC stuff. Creep
What's
Show's
the
been.
Hello Dark? Is Hello Darkness? Is that the
You know
only
what's funny?
one?
That's the only one I'm not reading.
Yeah.
That's like gotta because it's gotta. I think Garth Ennis doing like the main story through it.
Yeah, I think I would. I don't know. That's the only one I'm interested in, but I think I just get too bored by them. Look, I think I'm just old. It's hard for me to really like gather in this. I don't need. So this is Gail Simone and I don't know some other new lady. I don't know.
Oh, and it's Melkinoff. Don't you know Melkinoff?
No, I do. It's Gleb Melkinov. Yeah, I do like
Yeah, yeah.
Gleb. I
You
like.
like Glenn
I
Melkinoff?
do. But look, here we go. Hey, is Gail Simone writing this? Let's have a kitchen scene. Cool. And then I also don't know what the situation was throughout the book where they just kind of had like what is this? Was there like a story beat that they're just going to have like names? Like they just kept doing it throughout, super what? Like I just don't know what they're doing. I just skimmed this. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. This was the only roughly interesting page and then you have this and again
That's dumb.
the art changes over and over again. And then you have the dumb helmet, which they can't get away from. You have to have these floaty.
Yeah,
This is a
his
trope of
his
having
his
everyone come
maker.
through the portals. Don't
Yes.
do a movie trope, okay? Please don't do that. And then they're going to go off, and I guess this is just them giving him to Hickman,
Yeah.
right? They did this whole entire storyline. They're like, well, we just got to give him up to Hickman. I don't need to know how he gets from A to B. Don't care. This did absolutely nothing. What was the manhunt? They let him go at the end anyway.
Yep.
And also,
X.
what's the progression of timeline in between these two panels? I was really confused. I'm like, well, she's hugging him. Nope, no, she's hugging him now. Like, what's like?
She hugs a lot.
She just keeps hugging. She does. She does hug a lot.
It's her hug a
And
lot.
she also wasn't the whole thing that she couldn't touch people, but now she can. Or
Yeah, now she can, I think.
and I don't
And
believe
her
that. I don't believe that magic ever cries. So no, no, thank you. That's not a thing. She's an asshole. Like she's a crazy person. She would never. I don't think ever. But there we go. This whole book was to give these two characters to Jonathan Hickman.
okay,
Great. Great. And
cool.
this is really fun. Wondering where to run next. I believe that X Factor has 2 issues.
Yeah.
This is the last
Cancel.
issue of X Force.
Cancel.
So I don't know. I think these are okay. For whatever reason, Phoenix just
Well,
keeps
yeah.
on going. I don't understand who's
Well, we
reading that.
saw the numbers were like okay.
Yeah, who cares? Who the
I
hell's
don't know.
reading that?
I couldn't
On
tell you.
sale
I'm
in
glancing
April.
them and I can't remember.
Yeah, I only grabbed a couple pages
Uh,
from this, and this was mainly because I think the coloring is so. I think this is just done really well. Again, another Hellboy spin-off, Frankenstein New World. They're on this island. I just
oh, cool.
love the weird creatures and colors. And this guy Pete Burdidge is just. It's again. He was a Stenbeck. I thought when he first came out, I thought it was even pieces of this. I feel like that looks like Len Stenbeck's art. It's not, but again, it's going to read really well. in trade. Um, and again, I just love that this artifact here has been in like I'd say 50 to 60 BPRD stories. Like it was like the sword for the Conanist guy, you know what I mean? Like he had it as a backpack or something at one point. Like it's just been in here, and the fact that it's still hanging out is just really fascinating. As
Yeah.
not a thing. So um this has a bunch of covers, of course, So we got pretty good Greg Land there. There we go. Is our Mark Spears. We don't really get it, but okay. I don't remember who does that one. Cosplay. I don't
Cosplay.
know who this is
That is her.
here.
She has been like their girl for like years.
Yeah, that's fine. Listen,
It's
that's
fine.
what you're like a drawing, so that's fine. Wait, these are very uh drawing proportions. Not I don't think they may not be real. Legacy 676, isn't that fun? So that's cool. Do the legacy numbering.
676. That's my Union Teamsters local.
Let me see. I'm trying to think if they move the. It's about the same size, but they do shrink it a little bit. I'm just looking at the logo. I'm just trying to see if who's the logo. Can I be the logo guy? Can I get a job and just be the logo guy? And I can just go around and just put the logo in the right spot? Because I think this would even look cooler if the logo was like kind of half behind her head here. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't know. They're not like this. There you go. Good job. This is what I like. This is the best logo placement. Fine. Ergen Gundiz. I guess I don't know. Again, I haven't really been reading Vampirella, so I guess she's got a baby now. So there we go. But and I just kind of skipped the whole story. Did you read this? I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, no, I read it. It was good. I liked it. I
I
was
like
on a
Chris
Christopher
Priest.
Priest. Yeah, I was listening to an interview with him this week, so I was kind of on a Christopher Priest in a Christopher Priest mood.
I'm in a Christopher Priest mood.
That's right.
Um, and here's a billion covers. This Underdogs cover. This is really fun. I just think they do a good job like making that like whoever works on stuff like I don't know who drew that, uh, but just kind of making it all vintaged out. I mean, all these are pretty fun. There's my brother's one. That's a really good homage, but really good defined. Cedric Poulat 616. Tyler Kirkham, very nice. A lot of blood, a lot of scary blood. This person, Olivier Van Vatine, did a Belit miniseries for Ablaze. Uh, Great. Yeah, so just a lot of cool. And where has he been? Where's Olivier Copier? Is just going to do a random retailer exclusive, and Bruce Timm has a retailer exclusive. This is an old Vampirella book here. So, I mean, I'm not sure how many books, and then I think this is really odd too. I guess this was a sketch or something. I feel like there's so much Michael Turner art.
Yeah, that was a sketch. I definitely seen it.
Right. But they have two different good colorings of it. And then, I think it literally looks like two different covers. So they're doing a good job. Rupp's Comics, I don't know who that is either. Again, there's a lot. I think a lot of it is just retailer. Um, and again, Mark Spears makes a lot of money doing that stuff. Okay. That's fine. You read this. I didn't read this. I just kind of grabbed a couple
Yeah,
screenshots
I
because
liked it. It's some gross stuff in it.
it looked gross.
Yeah,
Penis.
it is. It is gross. It's definitely a penis. Lots of penises throughout the issue.
It's scary. That's a scary page, man.
It's a real scary page because it's just recently it's in the zeitgeist. With planes crashing and
Wait, like it's not even 20 miles from us, in Philly, where that little plane took off at was that Northeast Philadelphia airport and just took
yeah,
off and just like, and it was a person going and they were getting a emergency like heart surgery or something. They were going to Puerto Rico or coming back from Puerto Rico. I forget what the deal was, but that's it. Or 4 or 5 people died. That was it.
yeah, it's
It
terrible.
went up, went right down. No one in the building died. So this
Is that a new comic? No one in a building died.
that's a new comic that
Is
we're
that the
gonna do.
new James
No
Tinian?
no one in the building died. We should make we've talked about that a couple of times. It's a new Tiny Onion book. No one in the building died. Oh my God. Yeah, every couple pages I was looking through this, I was like, blah. So yeah, I want to sit down. Maybe I can get to this weekend. Just been again super busy week. And I guess this is just what is this? These are just one shots that are coming out. They're not connected.
Yes. Yeah. Correct. Correct.
I'll take a Butch Guys. I'll take a Butch Guys
So, so,
one
the,
shot.
so the kids' book. Let me just tell you, it's not like a spoiler, but what the story's about is every baby in the world becomes an adult,
Oh,
but they
fast.
have the what
Like really
instantly,
fast. Oh my God.
instantly, and they all got the brains of a baby, but some of them are like 6'3" dudes, out of control, just women, and but they're all like running around and falling out of buildings, and they're attacking, and people are killing them, and it's just the whole world's gone to shit because he's all of a sudden there's these grown ass babies, and it's like
Mhm.
a horror show, and and then that's kind of like the whole premise of the story. I mean, I'm not going to spoil the ending, but the that's what the story is about. Every baby becomes an adult, and it's like just a horror show.
Is this the first one or there's?
I think it's it.
Oh.
I mean, as
Oh,
far
that's
as
right. Yeah, there's a one shot, but I just mean, is this the first like Ninth Circle
I
one?
think it is. I think it is.
Okay.
So,
When
but
did
I'll
it?
I'll check this one out. Stay out of the woods. Check your mic.
Yeah,
Um,
and is this like the last Mike Kaluta art? Maybe. I wonder.
why
He passed away.
did
Like,
he?
yeah, a month or two ago. Yep.
Did I know that?
Well, we didn't cover it on. You didn't know because we didn't cover it on the news of the week. That's the only way we know anything. You know,
I don't know if I know that or not. I'm getting old.
which guy's using the
Joe
he's using
Joe Pruitt.
the Edgar he's using the Idris Elba design, and this actually looks like LeBron a little bit. Don't do it, Butch guys. Go back to your Micronauts art, which was like slightly it was like slightly different than Mike Golden, and then he started to get a little bit, but I don't know if I like that Butch guys. I like him when he was going right into he did that Beast one shot, that X Factor one shot, which was great. And then he did I wonder whose decision was to do the Amy Grant cover, the Doctor Strange, and then just
Oh
took the
yeah,
Amy Grant.
and then
Like you didn't even try to draw over it. You just put Amy Grant's face and you put it in red, like she was a vampire.
she sued you.
Yeah, and you lost because it really wasn't. You were barely changing it.
Weird
Who
move.
who
Weird
who
move.
decided that? Was that Butch guys? Like I should draw someone here, but this was pre-Photoshop. He's like, but I'm not going to trace nothing. I'm just going to throw it back there. I don't know. Yeah, I would love to find out how the heck that happened. Mike Benson, Adam Glass, Ken Lashley.
And lastly, I wish I liked him.
Yeah.
And I got nothing against him. I just don't. I don't know. Something about his art just doesn't appeal to me.
Well, that's it. That's like 20 something books this week. And like I said, I don't want the weeks to be this heavy because I feel like I couldn't really enjoy. The only thing I enjoyed was like the first two books I liked, which was the Amazing Spider-Man, this first book I read, and the Absolute Martian Manhunter. Everything else was fine. Everything else was fine to bad.
Fine. It's
So
fine. It's
it's
fine.
fine. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't
You
know.
know?
That's a week's worth of books. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I was excited for it. I was excited like, yeah, we're gonna have a big run, and then I just felt like it was more of a task, and I don't want it to feel like that. I don't want it to do that. We did mention before a lot of comic book reading is mood. So,
Yeah.
been
It's all
very
mood based.
stressful.
Yeah.
Stressful at work. Stress.
See, I
So,
like to read comics when I'm in a good mood. I don't really feel the need to escape my world. My world is super busy. I enjoy my world, I mean, it's work's work. You don't really love work, but like
hmm,
I enjoy my time at home. So when I really nothing has to be going on for me to read a comic.
right, right.
Do you know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
like to find that perfect time. I like to do it at nighttime. Everyone's asleep or busy or watching TV or something, and I just go to my couch. I love my couch. My one couch is like I have one couch I sit on. That's my TV watching spot. But when I
Hmm.
read comics, I sit on the other couch that nobody ever sits on,
Oh well.
the side couch, and
Nice.
it's a perfect spot to lay down.
I got a bunch of spots. Got a bunch of comic spots.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
other the other main spot's like the toilet.
Not supposed to say that. Right, Bibbs?
La toilette. That's how the French say it. Did you know that?
No. Bidet. Did you see the Conan O'Brien where
But
he
I
was
mate. That's what they
where
say in Australia when they use the bathroom. They're like, but I mate.
have you seen that? The Conan O'Brien like flubbed ad that he did? He was promoting a bidet and then all of a sudden he just kind of broke down. Look it up. It's on Team Coco on the YouTube. He
Yeah.
just loses it. He's like, "What am I doing?" And
Oh,
he's just like,
wait a
and
minute.
then
I
he
think I
just
listened to that one. Yeah.
loses it. And now they use it. Like they're using it as the ad, but you can watch him breaking down doing the ad like while they were filming it. And they were
That's great.
it's really funny. Yeah, it's really, really funny. He's the best. He's
He
the
is.
best. So, but stay tuned. We got some special programming coming up. Couple things. Got some markdowns. Got some Last Bloods.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got a couple special presentations that we're working on. And we want to do some specialty shows. Anything that you guys are reading that we're not covering, please throw it in the chat. We got a
Yeah.
couple good likes this week. Put some
put a
comments
request
in.
put a request in. Like we don't, say, hey guys, you never talk about book X, and we'll dig into
Right.
it. We'll see why you like it. We'll tell you, our opinions.
Yeah.
You know,
We'll take it. We'll take it.
we will. So, everyone, have a good reviews week.
Reviews week.
That's right. Because you don't have to listen to this all in one day. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Do your own reviews. Read your books. Think about what you like. Think about what we like. I'm just rambling. I'm tired. It's been a long day.
All right. Let's go to bed.
Good night.
All right, everybody.